my throat because he pushed it right here, and in the back of my head hit the tree. It was... Did you...
Do not turn of your device. This is not a test. Civil authorities have issued a civil danger warning for the following: Chicago, Illinois, Waukegan, Illinois, Aurora, Illinois, Naperville, Illinois, Elgin, Illinois, Cicero, Illinois, Joliet, Illinois, Schaumburg, Illinois, Arlington Heights, Illinois, Hammond, Indiana, and Gary, Indiana. I repeat, this is not a test. Today at 9:57 a.m. the University of Illinois Hospital have discovered a new disease called E6-27. Experts believe it will spread throughout the Chicago metro area. There has been already 16 deaths from this disease and experts believe it will be in the thousands. The Chicago Police Department advises everyone to get into a nearby shelter. Gather as much food and water as you can until this is dealt with. This message is transmitted by the Chicago City Hall Council and the Chicago Police Department.
These are disturbing facts that you wish you didn't know. In 2018, a 44-year-old woman from Pennsylvania named Wendy Thomas was at her home drinking with her 44-year-old boyfriend named Keno Butler. While drinking, their conversation started getting more heated. The argument got so heated that Wendy, out of rage, took a knife and stabbed Keno in the hand before bludgeoning him with a table leg. Wendy then later jumped onto his body, sat on Keno's chest, and started smothering him. Wendy is a very heavy woman weighing over 300 pounds, while Keno was just around 120 pounds. So Keno didn't stand a chance and eventually passed away due to respiratory insufficiency. On October 2021, a University of Missouri freshman student named Danny Santulli was pledging for the Phi Gamma Delta fraternity. As part of the hazing process, he was ordered to drink a 1.57-liter bottle of Tito's vodka and undisclosed amounts of beer. Because of such obscene amounts of alcohol, Danny was left blind and unable to walk with permanent brain damage. His blood alcohol content stood at a whopping 0.486, which is 6 times the legal limit.
If you see this tree, run fast and cover your face. The Hippomane manzanella is the world's most dangerous tree. The sap that its trunk exudes is so poisonous and acidic that the merest contact with human skin will cause a severe breakout of blisters. And here's the terrifying part. Blindness can occur if it touches a person's eyes. It also has apples, where a single bite will cause blistering and severe pain, and can sometimes even sadly prove fatal.
Survival tips that could save your life. Never wear Calvin Klein obsession in the jungle. Big cats are attracted to musky smells, but there's one cat that really likes it. Instead of attracting a cougar, you might just get a tiger. If a shark is approaching you in water, do not splash. Splashing tells a shark that you're food that hasn't been caught yet. Slowly move towards the shore or a boat, whatever's closest. Don't thrash, because if a shark really wants to put you in a bag, it will. Black bears can be intimidated, so throw rocks and make a lot of noise and they might run off. Yeah, grizzlies don't play that, so you'll have to play dead with your hands behind your neck and your legs spread out to make it harder to turn you over. If a polar bear comes at you, first of all, what are you doing? Take off pieces of clothing and throw them. The bear will stop to inspect them, giving you a few precious seconds to escape. If a snake bites you, look at the wound. Double set of teeth means it's non-venomous. 2 puncture holes means that the snake is indeed venomous, so either seek medical attention or sneeze in the air and pray that God blesses you. If a croc grabs you, jab its eyes and nostrils, and if you can, shove your arm down its throat. It can activate its gag reflex and force it to release you.
This is the scary story about the bowling ball. There was a kid named Mike who always went bowling. One day, Mike brought his friend to go bowling with him. It was very late when they got there, and there was nobody in there except one man who was bowling all the way down at the end. Mike and his friend got their balls and shoes and began walking over to their lane. Mike's friend then said he had to use the bathroom and said it'll be quick. Mike was waiting for his friend for a couple minutes when he realized they were the only ones at the bowling alley now. He got very happy because the whole place was for him and his friend now. But 20 minutes went by and Mike's friend still was not back. Mike then went to the bathroom to go check on his friend, but his friend was not there. Mike then came back out of the bathroom and realized that the man from before was back, and he was bowling with something that did not look like a ball. When Mike got a closer look, he almost passed out. He realized that the man was bowling with his friend's head.
Creepy videos that you shouldn't watch at night, but you're going to anyway, part 10. And for my dark web lovers, you will love this video because this one actually surfaced on the dark web. Alright, the video has since been deleted, but people actually downloaded it, so I'm just on YouTube. So this is in binary code. If anybody wants to decode that, please let me know. This video is pretty scary, so let's watch. What the fuck? Oh, hell no. Here's the full binary code, so just save the video.
If you are ever walking alone at night, be careful of it. Have you ever heard your name being whispered and you turned around and found that nobody was there? That could have been this creature called Siren Head. Siren Head lures its victims by calling out their name, and when the person finds the source of the sound, it's too late. Look, I used to not believe in any of this stuff, but I've had a lot of supernatural occurrences in the last year, such as walking down the street in the middle of the night and having every single lamppost burn out as I walked past it. Look, I don't know if this is real or not, but always bring a friend when you go on a walk at night. Be safe and follow if you want more creepy and incredibly true stories.
Videos that seem innocent but have a terrifying backstory, Part 3. While this may look like footage from your typical cheesy dating show from the 70s, the man who the woman chose to go on a date with is serial killer Rodney Alcala, believed to kill over 130 women. Luckily, the female contestant didn't go on a date with him because he gave off a creepy vibe. This video shows a band performing in a bar in Thailand. Minutes later, the entire place catches on fire and 60 people are dead. What's even more shocking is that the band's name is Burn, and the song they're singing is titled, In the End. In 2009, an old man named Edward Mascari uploaded a video of him singing Pretty Woman to his YouTube channel. As it turns out, he was a registered sex offender who wasn't allowed to have a YouTube channel and was put back in prison where he passed away.
3 scary facts that will keep you up at night. Right now there are 50 current serial killers that are on the loose, and some of them are still active. In 2003, the space shuttle Columbia disintegrated upon entering the Earth's atmosphere. However, it was determined that all 7 astronauts were alive for a few minutes during this disaster. And in 29 different states, it is completely legal for doctors and medical students to practice pelvic exams on patients who are under anesthesia without consent.
Do not watch this video at night, this will freak you out. In the photo behind me is a man named Cody, and while he was home by himself, he was starting to experience some very odd things. He was hearing noises, and it was pretty clear that he thought someone was in the house. And by the way, the footage that I'm about to show you was recorded by him. When he walked over to the bathroom, the lights were flickering. But not only were the lights flickering, but the faucet was on, so he turned the faucet off and left. At this point, Cody got pretty freaked out, so he went outside and called his wife and let her know what was happening. His wife insisted that he would stay outside, however, Cody decided to go back in and do some more filming. When he went back inside, the entire kitchen was a complete mess. Cupboards were open and things were thrown around as seen in this photo, and this right here is the clip of him first walking in. When Cody watched this clip back, he saw something absolutely terrifying in one of the frames. This is the still frame, can you see it? This is what he saw looking out from the corner of his daughter's bedroom door. If I were Cody, I'd be selling my house and moving out immediately.
Don't watch this at night because it'll give you nightmares. You've been warned. Today we're going to be looking at unalivemouse.avi. Before I show you the video, let me give you the backstory. So the story goes that this animation was made by Disney animators, and apparently the people that made it unalived themselves after making it. Now, according to the story, everyone who has seen the animation has also unalived themselves. Now, I'm about to play the animation, so if that freaks you out, just leave now while you have a chance. Now, I can't show it here, but at the end of the animation, Mickey unalives himself. Personally, I don't think anything about this is real, but what do you guys think?
These are scary videos you should never watch at night. Okay, so the video I'm about to show you shows a kid who was home alone one night when something or somebody started knocking on his door saying it was his mother. But the thing is, his mom wasn't even home because she was working the night shift. And the way it's knocking and sounding make it sound so demonic. Let me know what you think this is because it's absolutely disturbing. These are videos you can never watch at night. Okay, so we all know how there's some videos you just can't watch at night because they're that scary. Well, in this series, I'll be showing you all those videos, so be ready to get scared. Okay, so yeah, after watching that video, I'm definitely not sleeping tonight. What even is that thing? And just imagine you just see it crawling in your room right now. All I gotta say is I wish you the best sleeping tonight, because I'm telling you this much, I'm gonna have trouble. This is the scary story about the babysitter, but trust me, you're not ready for this story. There was a young girl who was in need of a job who was able to find work as a babysitter for a couple who lived in a large, isolated house. They were going out to see a movie that night and left the teenage babysitter in charge of their 3 young children. The babysitter put the children to bed when it got late and then went downstairs to watch some television. She was just getting comfortable when she heard the phone ringing. When she answered it, all she heard was heavy breathing, followed by a man's voice asking, "Have you checked on the children?" Completely freaked out, she hung up the phone, trying to convince herself that it was just someone playing a practical joke on her. She then went back to watching TV, but about 15 minutes later, the phone rang again. She picked up the receiver and heard hysterical laughter coming from the other end. Then the same voice asked, "Have you checked on the children yet?" The babysitter slammed down the phone. The poor girl was frightened out of her wits and immediately called the police. The operator at the police station told the babysitter that if the man called again, she should try to keep him talking, since that would give the police time to trace the call. A few minutes later, the phone rang a 3rd time, and when the babysitter answered it, she heard the heavy breathing again. The voice on the line then said, "You should really check on the children." The babysitter listened to him laughing hysterically for a long time. She hung up the phone again, and almost immediately it rang again. This time it was the operator from the police station who yelled, "Get out of that house right now. The calls are coming from the upstairs phone." The babysitter dropped the phone in shock, and suddenly she heard heavy footsteps walking down the stairs. Without pausing for a second, she ran out of the house as fast as her legs would carry her. Just as she closed the front door behind her, a man's hand slammed against the glass. She screamed and ran into the street just as the police car was pulling up outside. The police then searched the house and found the 2 children hiding in a closet crying uncontrollably. In the parents' bedroom, they found a bloody axe lying on the floor next to the upstairs phone. There was no sign of the madman who made the phone calls. He had escaped into the night when the police arrived and managed to interrupt his horrible plan to kill the 2 children and the poor babysitter.
Here are some facts that you probably didn't know that one day could save your life. Part 4. If you ever need to escape a moving car, do not jump out. Put 1 foot down and take a step. This will significantly reduce your speed and you'll have a much greater chance of surviving the fall. If you can't do a pull-up, you probably won't have the strength to pull yourself up off of a ledge. Wolves will only attack you if they can intimidate you into running away from them. Standing your ground against a wolf pack will be terrifying, but eventually, they'll leave you alone. If you ever get carjacked and they tell you to drive, crash the car into a nearby road or intersection. Most likely they won't be wearing their seatbelt, so when you crash the car, they'll get injured and you can take this chance to get out of the car and run like hell. If a service dog ever approaches you without its owner, follow them and do it quickly, because you could potentially save someone else's life.
We interrupt your current broadcast to bring you this emergency broadcast system. Civil authorities have issued an alert to all citizens in your area. There have been a total of 59 missing person reports in the past 12 hours. Witnesses have reported that people inside their homes have been killed by an unknown entity, and all reports had a generally similar point of view. The reports all say that the event took place in a dark part of the home, such as a cellar, basement, closet, or attic. The depiction of the entity was described as a strange-looking pale humanoid with long contorted limbs each about 6 feet long. The entity itself was about 8 feet tall, with no eyes, and a long pointed face. Witnesses also say that days before the individual was killed, they said they felt uneasy or anxious. Guidelines to ensure your safety are: keep your house well lit, stay out of basements or attics. If you feel uneasy, it is important to go to a hospital or somewhere you know you are safe. If you see the entity and have felt uneasy in the past few days, then serve your community by distancing yourself from others and buying them time to escape from the entity.
Here's what would happen if there was no friction for 1 minute. First off, anything you were holding on to at the moment that friction disappeared would instantly fall to the ground or just fly out of your hand, because your ability to grip and pick up things is because of friction. Also, if you were walking when friction disappeared, your legs would still work, but you wouldn't be going anywhere. You would be exactly like this little guy right here. Oh, and if you were in a car when this happened, you'd keep going and going until eventually you just crashed into something, because brakes only work with friction. Within an instant of losing friction, the whole world would become just one big, formless, featureless blob, because everything on Earth is held together by friction. If you take that away, you lose everything instantly.
If you ever see this tree, run fast and cover your eyes, because this tree is guaranteed to fuck up your Wednesday. This tree is known as the Hippo-mane Manzanella and has earned the title for the most dangerous tree in the world, because the sap that actually comes out of the tree is so poisonous that one touch on human skin would cause a severe outbreak of blisters. That is how acidic the sap is. So you want some quick life advice? Don't be this person! And even more terrifyingly, if even the smallest amount gets in your eye, it can cause blindness. And don't be tricked by the apples that grow on it either, because these apples have been nicknamed the death apples. This is that one time where you can say no to one of your 5 a day, because if you do eat it, it'll be one of the last 5 a day you ever have. These apples are very poisonous. Now, no, they won't necessarily put you on next year's census, but even one bite into these apples could cause horribly painful blisters. So once again, if you see this tree, run away. And make sure to share this with a friend so that they know to stay away from this tree, because you're a good person. All with me now.
If you see this in the woods, run for your life. If you're ever walking in the woods and come across this, you need to run away immediately. These circles of wood have been found in many forests and are all a part of a cult worship circle. And the people who are members of these cults sacrifice people in these forests.
If you see the sky go purple, you need to run fast. A purple sky means there is a hurricane on the way. And not just any type of hurricane, a massive typhoon hurricane. The biggest hurricane in the entire world, which can reach up to 200 miles per hour and will destroy everything in its path. So if you ever see a purple sky, you need to run fast. Make sure you share this message and follow for more.